Toby is a tram engine. He is short and sturdy. He has cowcatchers and side plates, and it doesn't look like a steam engine at all. He takes trucks from farms and factories to the main line, and the big engines take them to London and elsewhere. His tram line runs along roads and through fields and villages. Toby rings his bell cheerfully to everyone he meets. He has a coach called Henrietta, who has seen better days. She complains because she has few passengers. Toby is attached to Henrietta and always takes her with him, as he says, "Well, you never know. She might come in useful one day." But Henrietta is never very happy. "It's not fair. It's not fair at all. Just look at all those buses full of passengers, and I've got none. I remember the day when I used to be full of passengers." The farms and factories sent their goods mostly by lorry. Toby is always careful on the road. The cars, buses and lorries often have accidents. Toby hasn't had an accident for years, but the buses are crowded and Henrietta is empty. One day a car stopped close by and a little boy jumped out and called to his sister, "Come on, Bridget! Come on, Bridget! Come on!" And together they ran across to Toby. Two ladies and a stout gentleman followed. The gentleman looked important, but nice. The children ran back. "Oh, come on, grandfather! Oh, come, grandfather! Do look at this engine!" And seizing his hands, they almost dragged him along. The stout gentleman said, "Well, well, well, well. That's a tram engine, Stephen, a tram engine." "Oh, may we go in it, grandfather? Oh, please, may we go in, please?" "Oh, very well. All right." The stout gentleman said to Toby, "By the way, what is your name?" Toby, sir." "Oh, Toby, is it? Well, thank you, Toby. Thank you very much for a very nice ride." "Thank you, sir. Thank you very much indeed, sir." And Toby said to himself, "Now, this gentleman is a gentleman who knows how to speak to engines." The children came every day for a fortnight. Sometimes they rode with the guard, sometimes in empty trucks, and on the last day of all, the driver invited them into his cab. All were sorry when they had to go away. Stephen and Bridget said, thank you very much indeed," to Toby, his driver, his fireman, and the guard. The stout gentleman gave them all a present, and Toby said, "Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Yes. Don't forget, come again soon." "Oh, we will, we will. Goodbye, goodbye." "Goodbye." Toby's driver said to him, "Well, this is our last day, Toby. The manager says we must close."
That day, everyone wanted the chance of a last ride. The passengers joked and sang, but Toby and his driver wished they wouldn't.
A large policeman was shaking a stone from his boot. Thomas liked policemen. He had been a great friend of the constable who used to live in the village, but had just retired. Thomas expected that the new constable would be friendly too, and he called out to him, "Good morning, good morning." The policeman jumped and dropped his boot. Thomas was sorry to see that he didn't look friendly at all. He was red in the face and very cross, and he was wobbling about, trying to keep his balance. And he said to Thomas,
"It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. That's what it is. I didn't sleep a wink last night, it was so quiet, and now a blinking engine comes whistling suddenly right behind me. My first day in the country, too. Wish I'd never been transferred."
And he picked up his boot and hopped over to Thomas. Thomas said,
"Well, I'm very sorry, sir. I only said good morning."
The policeman grunted, and leaning against Thomas's buffer, he put his boot on. And then he drew himself up and pointed to Thomas.
"Aha! Aha! Where's your cowcatcher then, eh? Where's your cowcatcher, huh?"
"Oh, please, sir, I don't catch cows, sir."
"Don't you try to be funny with me, young fella, me lad. Now, let's see."
And he took out his notebook and he looked at Thomas's wheels.
Aha! Aha! No side plates either. No side plates and no cowcatcher. Engines going on public roads must have their wheels covered and a cowcatcher in front. And you haven't. Ha ha! And so you are dangerous to the public. So there.
Thomas's driver said, "Oh, look, that's rubbish, Constable. We've been along here hundreds of times and never had an accident."
"Oh, have you? Then that makes it worse, don't it? I'll just have to make a note of that. A regular lawbreaker. That's what you are. A regular lawbreaker. I shall report this."
Thomas puffed slowly away. The fat controller was having breakfast when the telephone rang.
"Oh, bother that telephone,"
and he said to his wife,
"I'll be back in a minute. Oh, dear, 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 dear."
But when he came back, he said,
"Oh, bother, bother. I'm sorry, my dear, but Thomas is in trouble with the police. I must go down at once."
The policeman was waiting at the station. The fat controller spoke to him at once, and a crowd collected. Other policemen came to see what was happening, and the fat controller argued with them too, but it was no good. The policeman said
that the law is the law, and that's that and all about it.
The fat controller felt exhausted. He mopped his face and said to Thomas's driver,
"I'm sorry, driver. Oh dear, it's no use arguing with policemen. We will have to make one of those cow-catcher things for Thomas, I suppose."
Thomas was horrified.
"Everyone will laugh, sir. They'll say that I look like a tram."
"Eh? What? Like a tram? Why, yes. Well done, Thomas. Why didn't I think of that before? We want a tram engine. Now, when I was on my holiday, I met a nice little engine called Toby. Now, he hasn't enough work to do and needs a change. I'll write to his controller at once."
Percy, why are you calling Annie and Clarabelle? Well, because Thomas got in trouble with the police. That's a great story to tell with the other engines tonight.
Toby puffed very sadly to his shed.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
And he went off unhappily to sleep. Next morning the shed doors were flung open, and Toby woke with a start to see his fireman dancing a jig outside. The driver was very excited and waving a piece of paper. "Wake up, Toby, me boy! Wake up and listen to this! It's a letter from the Stout gentleman." A few days later, Toby arrived, and the fat controller said to him, "Well done, Toby, that's a good engine. I see you've brought Henrietta with you."
Oh, you don't mind, sir, do you? But the station master wanted to use her as a hen house, and that would never do, sir, would it?
Oh, no, indeed it wouldn't. We couldn't allow that. Toby made the trucks behave even better than Thomas did. At first, Thomas was jealous, but he was so pleased when Toby rang his bell and made the policeman jump that they have been firm friends ever since.